Hey guys, Romie here, so please like, comment, subscribe. This is Underground Season 2, Episode 3. And it starts off with, it actually starts off with, at the time we didn't realize it, but it was, I'm calling her E. I'm not calling her by her name until she earns it. So we're going to call her E for now. And E, we're wondering who's this Bo guy. He's reading to his daughter, and in the letter, it's talking about how this black woman, she's talking to all these white people, and the daughter was just astonished that how is she able to go and say all this in front of them, and she wanted her father to keep reading to her. Now, mind you, they're both slaves, so at this time it's illegal to to read, write, to educate yourself essentially. Now, like I said, we find out that that daughter, that young girl, is actually E. And right now E's going through it. She's still doing the drugs, she's still working out in the fields, and at this point she's seeing her son Sam. She's seeing her son Sam, but she's so over it that she actually goes, and when the slave owner is just like, yo, what are you doing? And she basically gives him the cold shoulder. He goes and hits her, and then she almost has this look of, oh, you want to play that game today? Because I'm done, I'm over this. This is where Hicks comes in. It's just like, no, I'm sorry, we can't do all of that. She has to get all prettied up and all dolled up so that she can go and perform Sting tonight. I'm playing the music, she's singing. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time, man. It's gonna be a good time. Now, like I said, she's 150% over it, and he almost has this vibe like he's gonna hit her, and all those women are like, oh, not on our watch. So he's just like, alright, just get back inside. Now, mind you, Patty, the slave catcher, this journalist is going, he's learning all about her. He's learning her ways, he's learning, her tics, what she likes, what she doesn't like. They find out that Rosalee survived. They know that, okay, but she must have been hurt. She seems to have lost a lot of blood. She's very close to the area, so they're going to find her. Rosalee, on the other hand, she is going through it. She got shot right in the chest, right up here, and so she has to dig the bullet out. I said, oh my god, because she had to go inside, rip that bullet out. Then she took gunpowder. She took mind you, all pregnant, took the gunpowder, placed it on there. The match went out when she tried to. I said, oh Lord, she's going to blow the thing shut. Oh, she's going to sterilize it and blow it shut. Oh, Jesus. But no, the match went dark, so she took the gun, placed it against her chest so that the combustion would go off and have the same reaction as if she lit the match. She fell back at that point because it was just extreme pain. She's waterlogged. Her hearing's going in and out the entire time. It's too much. It's too much. But she's starting to remember, these visions. He's having these visions of when she was a young girl and when her mom was just like, they were in, I guess, the master's house because, she was a house. And her mom goes, brings her up on this, what do you call it, bed, and they start jumping around. And it's just like, you need to enjoy this while you can because things are going to get a lot harder for you. And they show you, okay, go and clean this up. Clean this up like we never jumped on this dang thing. You hear me? And that kind of gives her the motivation, like, I'm doing this for other people. It's not just for me. I'm trying to make a better life for my baby, trying to go and free Noah, trying to get my brother, trying to get my mom out of slavery. So with that in mind, she goes and she shoots herself with, again, what we think is adrenaline. And now she's wandering the woods. Now, Claire, she was the one who Hicks got pregnant and then forced her to have the abortion. Claire's being shamed by her father. Her father's the pastor, the spiritual man, if you will. And they're doing this shaming thing because they want to know who's the father, so that she's shamed to where she doesn't ever do something like this again. And I'm like, dang. On hand, but the thing is, I have to think about it, the times were different. You didn't really want to have kids in that time because they were going to be born into slavery, which means that they're going to be in the fields out with you as soon as they're born. They can't pick the cotton, but they're going to be on your back or they're going to be in front of you. So, what type of life is that? And so that's why they do this ceremony. I get it, but it's just like, dang it. And mind you, E is looking at her like, and it's in your best interest not to say anything. He's also remembering her ex and, you know, Sam's father, and how things were different. How she was talking about if she has a son, he wanted, what did he want? Samuel or something? And she was like, no, she likes Sam. And Rosalee is the daughter. Because of course she wanted better for her kids. Now, Rosalee, mind you, is wandering the woods. Again, she's losing blood. There's a lot going on. She's disheveled. She's hungry. She's cold. She's scared. She's tired. And she's extremely injured. Now, but she keeps on moving forward. Now, it's interesting because the journalist had the audacity to say, you know, some people think that the black woman has a special physical ability because she is able to withstand a ridiculous amount of pain. And I'm like, you're not even talking like this person's a human. You're like, this is some extraordinary thing, so we're going to use that thing and profit off of that thing. Yeah, I got it. Oh yeah, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Like I said, E's going through it right now. She's trying to figure out, you know, what are the next steps for her. She's going to be going to the master's house later on, so her son's kind of making fun of her, like, wow, things have certainly done changed. And, you know, when her husband, I believe he was dead, when he was finally killed, Sam was like, oh, Mom, are you going to do that for me when I die? He said something to that effect. I said, no, Lord Jesus, no, not today. While Rosalee is wandering out in the woods, she now is exposed to leeches. She's exposed to leeches, and they're all over her body, and she's freaking out because, of course, she's pregnant. She's bleeding first, and she's also pregnant. So this could hurt the baby. Aside from everything else, this could also hurt the baby. Patty wants one of her people to go after Rosalee. It's like, okay, you right there. You go after her. You go and find her. You go and figure it out. It's funny, the entire time, I don't know what it is, but the slave, not the slave catcher, but the journalist that's with them, I caught it from the moment he was around them. It almost feels like he doesn't like her. It almost feels like he thinks this is a joke. Not the slavery part, but kind of like, you really go and you catch slaves. He just kind of talks like, I can't take you seriously. This is trash. You're ridiculous. So when he does what he does towards the end of the episode, I wasn't surprised, because he kind of gave me that vibe of what he's going to do. He did ask her, though, about this story, and it was in regards to she wanted to go and find some runaways. So she found this black couple. She took the baby, had the baby over an open fire, and that's what caused the parents to go and say, okay, that's where the runaways are. I said, that was the story. She said, you know, you're not as good as your next story. And that's all she really cares about, being remembered, what the type of brand that she represents, the folklores that are going to be, that she's going to be mentioned in. And it's really sad. It is really sad and really disgusting. She is pure trash. Pure trash. But anyway, E is going and she's getting ready. She's getting ready. She's kind of looking like herself. It's not the same garbs that she's normally able to wear, but she's kind of resembling Ernestine. I said, dang, I can still see that bruise. Regardless, she still looks good. She takes another whiff, and when she takes that whiff, because even Hicks was saying, maybe you need to slow down. Now you know it's bad when the supplier is telling you, maybe you need to slow down. We see Sam again, and Sam's just like, you know what, this is where you shine. This is your opportunity. You love going and interacting with Master. You did whatever you need to do. And we hear the story of how oh Lord Jesus, I called her Ernestine. How Ernestine, you know, one of the things that she did was she made sure it had Rosalee so that she could cement, you know, her place in that house and to help Sam out. And then her child after that, her youngest son, he was an accident. She made sure to fix herself so that she could never have kids again after that. I said, oh God, this is too much. Now, Rosalee, she's dehydrated. She's dehydrated, again scared, lethargic, trying to figure out what's going to be her next move. She keeps fainting in and out. We keep, like I said, it's very spotty, very spotty. She's looking for this cabin, she's looking for this wagon. She's trying to hide from this guy because she knows this guy's after her. He has a gun. And so then the guy does find her, and they start to tussle, and she's fighting back. And then he's trying to stomp on her, because I think he kind of realized, oh my gosh, her stomach, So he tries to stomp on her. Of course, she avoids it. She's rolling around like, oh Lord, all that rolling. Now they're both on the ground tussling. He, even though he's under her, he's, yoking her up by her neck. And so I'm thinking, oh Lord Jesus, gather the strength. Gather the strength. Gather the strength. That's when Rosalee goes, takes out this knife, stabs him in the left eye. I said. Along with that, now we see Harriet. She's back in the fray, and in this flashback, and she's teaching Rosalee that she needs to build up her core and build up her arms, because this is what's going to save her when she's out there. And they also trade stories about their mothers and how both their mothers are crazy and unbearable, and Rosalee is trying to figure out, even if she wants to go and save her mom, will her mom be willing to go and leave? That's the thing that she's concerned about. And Harry says, like, you know what, my mom is like that too. Even when I got her on the wagon to freedom, she was still complaining, so nothing ever changed. But you do what we need to do for the people that we love. Now Ernestine, she's in the house. Hicks is there too. I guess the slave owner's son is there, and he has his friends over. Now his friends don't really take him seriously. I think the slave owner's son, it almost came off like he had some type of general confidence issue. I said, okay, that could be exploited. Well, keep that in mind. So one of his friends keeps going and feeding Hicks a drink. I'm like, Lord Jesus, Hicks, keep it together. He just kept feeding him the drink, feeding him drinks. It's like, you know what? This is so bad. You're not even entertaining enough for me. This slave who can play music can drink more and entertain me more than my own friend. What are you good for? And I'm like, what type of mess is this? So Hicks, in order to try and stop him from giving him more drinks, she's like, why don't you want to hear some singing? So that's when, of course, for a moment, we got Ernestine back. And Ernestine, she used her feminine wiles to go and try to charm these men. And this is where we see in the flashback, you know what, I think I'm jumping a little bit too far, but Ernestine, she's going and she's singing. And the song wasn't happy, but again, she can make essentially anything sexual. So at one point, she was on one of their laps, and then she took a left turn, because she was like, and they went, and they moved up her dress, and they're all in her loins, and there was a niche down there, and they kept ditching, and there was a smell, and there was a buzz. I said, Lord Jesus, Ernestine, the drugs got to you. You were having a mental breakdown. You were having a mental breakdown. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Ernestine, no. No. We see Sam clapping like, we see the other house women who are there. They're laughing because they're like, Lord Jesus, is this woman really having a mental breakdown now? Is she really going off like this? Made the guys very uncomfortable. At the time, nothing seemed to happen, which I thought was weird. I thought it was very weird. I'm thinking to myself, she just did all that and you guys didn't do anything? But of course you didn't, because you're kids, because you're immature. Now, we find the journalist, he's taking the picture of Patty, and she's right by her guy. And the guy that she had sent go and try to kill, or capture, I should say, Black Rose, he didn't have a family, so they dug up a grave for him. So as I said, they're ready to discuss the whole concept of stories and how important a story is. And then she kind of figures out that, you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if this Black Rose is actually Rosalee, who was a part of the Macon 7. And she didn't say it like that, but that's essentially what she was alluding to. We see E, because now she's back to E. No, we see Ernestine. Ernestine, she was upset because she's like, look, I did whatever I wanted to do. Hicks was like, what's wrong with you? She's like, I am tired. I am done. So they start a fight. She goes, swings on him. She's swinging. He goes, punches her dead in her face. I said, Ernestine, get something and hit him. Get something and hit him. If this is the type of game we're playing, get something and hit him. So then he goes and he's about to hit her again. And then he stops because he catches himself like, I'm trash, but even I'm not completely gutter. Like, I need to chill out. And he's like, why you make me do this? Why you make me do this? I said, she doesn't make you do. That's how you react because you're a weak man. That's the real issue. Your circumstance is unbearable and unthinkable. But you can't be going and doing that to your loved one just because that's the case? What? No, that's not how this works. So, again, everything sexual gets fixed. So Hicks, you know, he starts to go and kiss up on her. I'm like, so you go and you punch her dead in her face, and then you're like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. And then he starts to have sex with her, and she lets him. This is where we see Ernestine as a young girl. She goes, and in comes Angela Bassett. I said, no. Oh, she's gonna murder this. She's gonna murder this scene, and she did. She delivered like she always does. And Angela was just telling little Ernestine, because little Ernestine, you know, she lets the master, she lets everyone else do whatever they need to do with her so that she can go and survive, so that she can go and thrive. And she wants birth control. She essentially wants birth control to make sure that she doesn't get pregnant. And Angela had to let her know it really doesn't matter what you want because your body isn't yours. It's theirs. It's always theirs. And that's the one thing you have. You're just such a pretty young thing. You better hold on to that because that's the only reason you'll get anywhere in life. That's essentially what she told her, and that clearly stuck with Ernestine because Ernestine has been using her body ever since. Now, we have this situation of Rosalee is such a boss because Rosalee, she went and she needed some time to recover. She put herself in a man-made grave that was right by the slave catchers. I said, Lord Jesus. They buried his body, a foot away? I said, what? That's God watching out. That is God watching out. Because if they put that shovel and accidentally threw it like that and it hit her, it would have been over. So she comes out of it, it's like, oh! She goes and she's trying to get fresh water. Now, as she's trying to get fresh water to hydrate herself and the baby, this black snake comes out of nowhere and bites her. So then I think she kills the snake, but now she has to go and let the poison out. So now she's bleeding her leg. I'm like, oh, this woman cannot get a break. She can't get a break. And she's hungry because there's nothing to eat. So then she goes and she bites, I think she tries to eat some of the snake. I said, oh, God. Oh, Ernestine. Ernestine, you are a boss. So now she's pretty much down for the count. And this is where the journalist comes in. He sees her and he realizes that's her. That's the person that they're looking for. And she starts to cry because she's like, I made it this far. You brought me this far to leave me. And God said, no. No, no, no. The song is, I don't believe you brought me this far to leave me. And he did not. Because what happened next was, like I said, there was always something about that journalist that seemed kind of off. He went and he gave her water. He gave her water, and he didn't tell them that she was over there. And you know, desperate times call for desperate measures. So she took that water and she drank it. She drank it like it was life itself. And so I'm looking at her like, I'm looking at him like, here's the plot line. Is he doing this because he feels like it's a better story? Part of me feels like maybe he thinks that it's a better story for her not to just be caught like this. And to give her at least a fair fighting chance, because I really don't think that he likes Patty. So maybe that's part of it. Or what if he is a secret abolitionist? Maybe he's spying on them, and maybe that's why he's there, to try and help out whenever he can. It's possible. Or maybe he's not really an abolitionist, but he's not really for all of this either. He's just kind of intrigued at the fact that why do people even do this? How do they think that it's okay? How do they rationalize it? Who knows? Who knows? All I know is that Rosalee needed help. She got the help. But now, we see this another flashback of when, of course, Rosalee, her younger brother, I believe, was born at that time, and her mother was nursing, I believe, the slave owner's son. Well, technically, her son was the slave owner's son too, but you know, the same slave owner's 100% biological son. Now, it's at the point where Ernestine is done. She's fried. She's gonna let the hair go. She got herself in a white dress. She has this rock, and she goes into the water and holds on to the rock as long as she can until she stops moving. I said, there's still time. There is still time. You don't die that quickly. That's not how the human body works. And we see Rosalee, she just falls. She's so tired that she can't do it. She can't do it. But then someone jumps in the water, saves Ernestine. We see a couple of the slaves, they went and created this rope, tied it to a tree or a person to anchor it, and they pulled her out of the water, and then they gave her like their version of CPR, and she breathed. So she's alive. Save with Rosalee. Rosalee saw that horse and carriage, so she closed her eyes. Then she got that second wind. She's like, I'm doing this for my baby. She's doing this for her man. She got in that horse and carriage. That horse and carriage started moving on its own, guiding her to freedom. I said, Jesus, oh my God, please protect her, because please, the route, please let it be one way or they're not going to intercept. And as I said, the show actually ends with Patty. She says she realizes the best way to catch this woman is use someone who hates her. And so they're going to use, what's his name? You remember the slave catcher last season that went and his son was killed by Rosalee? You know, she was hallucinating and she killed his son. Yeah, him. Him. He's back. So that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think.